sushi, obviously. Not really. We're just prepping. We don't have sushi till 3 a.m. in the morning. That's when we start. Lunch for dream finders, home builders. So, of course, we gotta have Red Bull. I'll try to talk you guys through it, but I'm not very good at talking through things. But we're cutting striped bass today. One of the first, that's the first fish we're cutting. And I already chopped one of the heads off, so there's 3 of them. Let's see if we can get some better aim here. Guess it's a good thing nobody's here yet. Oh my gosh, there's a pain. All right. You guys ever can still see me? That's good. Need a little height on it. I'm an amateur at this, so excuse me. Still learning. Pretty sure you can see me, but I want to show you guys the fish. So it'll take me a second. There we go. We need something to lift it up. There we go. Yep, you're right. Taking the tail off. Good. Of course, always clean your knife, which is a deba. When you're taking bones out, the deba will chop right off the head. Chop the head right off, and your finger if you don't aim right. Alright. Today we're gonna go with my Japanese Tokyo 2020, I think. Nope. It's the Tokyo 2020 knife. Okay, so I'm cutting this part here first, very gently, and of course I still have the scales on. You can always take the scales off first. It just makes it to where the meat's a little bit too soft. I'd rather remove the skin and scales at the same time. But you have to have a nice sharp knife to be able to do what I just did. You can use a fillet knife if you don't have an actual sushi knife. I can show you one with the fillet knife in a minute. You gotta be careful about these fins right here. Things will mess you up. You'll be hurting for days. Get a little infection with those things. So with this part, I don't like to use my good knife. I mean, this is a pretty good knife, but it's not my Japanese knife. There we go. There's one piece. Get a sheet pan. We got somebody on there. I don't know who it is because I can't comment, but what's up? I prefer to use paper towels when I'm cleaning fish because you can just throw it away. Some people don't. So I'm going to show you this side with the fillet knife. Now this tail part here, the bones go deeper in if you don't cut it first. So it's best to start here in the back with that. Or if you don't really have that much experience, you could always cut from here, breaking them off. Once you broke the majority of them, from this part, about maybe an inch down, you're good to go. So you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you can cut down like this, and back up underneath the bones. And that's mostly on like the white fish or small fish. Other bones, they have complete tails to do that. You won't have to do any of that. See, it's right there. You can always come from one or the other side, but the whole goal is to stay with the bones. Follow the bones all the way down. If you don't follow the bones, you're gonna destroy the meat. Of course, you have to freeze the fish at -4 for 3 days. This one's going to be for our weekend event. I didn't think to do a live video the other day. I'll show you another way you can take the bones off from the rib. And that would be... Where are those scissors? These are my Japanese handmade scissors. Really awesome. But you can get, any fishing store will have the scissors, but you can cut the bones right off. It's probably much safer for somebody who doesn't know how to cut fish. And it's much cleaner. The next thing will be taking the ribs out for the belly. Now there's several different ways to do this. You can do it while you're cleaning the fish, but it takes a lot more skill. And I don't like doing it that way because I want to make sure that we can still use some of it. So you just, right here there's a little bone. You want to cut through that bone first and kind of see where your bones go. Because one side of the fish might be really skinny, one side won't be. He must not have gotten fed right by his mom's. I think I'm funny. And over here, there's a little bit of fat right here at the back side of that. Separate here. And then I'll show you the other way of cleaning the belly off on the other one. It might be easier for you. Now when you're going to skin the fish, right here along the line, you want to separate right around the skin, like that with your finger. Let me see if I can get a little closer for you. So right in there, there is a piece that connects right there. You just want to separate it. Because when you go to skin the fish, it'll make your life a lot easier. Now, that's what I'm going to use. This thing is literally as long as the fish. I mean, dude, look at that. So you take a little piece off like that, flip it away from yourself, and you're going to follow the skin all the way down. And I'm just moving the skin back and forth, not even moving the knife. Now, I would like to bring my fresh cutting board. And there's the skin. If it doesn't look like that, it's not good enough, in my opinion. And the way you can tell, it's got a little bit of fat left over, and that makes it really tasty. You're gonna wipe your fish down, make sure there's no scales on there or anything like that. Remove all your fatty pieces, which you can eat, but you know, it's not like you can share it with a lot of people, so I typically eat it myself. Now, I take this. I'll probably be live for at least 2 hours. Just because I have to clean tuna, 2 more striped bass, and 1 whole salmon. Doesn't look like people are hanging today, though. We got bored of the content, Molly. They left. There was 2 people. There was like 6 people in there or something like that. There's some people in there. I don't know what happened to them. I don't think they have a very good view. That must be it. So there's also bones in here that you have to get out. You can get these tweezers from pretty much any fishing shop. You want to follow the way the bones are going inside the meat. See? With whitefish, it takes off a little bit more meat when you pull them towards the top. And make sure you get all of them. Wish there was a way I could put music in the background for us. Molly, can you put some like jazz on? What? Some jazz or something nice and smooth. You know how? Are you hooked to the Bluetooth? No. My other phone is my work phone, not my personal. And that is what you're supposed to get. whitefish block. Or we call it zumatai. Hey, I got a comment this time. Comments? No, I can't read it because I locked my screen somehow. Right now it's getting time for it nice. Looks like it's done. Fill up for you. So this side's a little trickier. So you're going to want to take your knife upside down. This is the way I do it. Not everybody does it this way. Just kind of slide it back and forth, breaking the bones each time. You're feeling for the bones. It's like it's the tip of your finger. That's how I normally do it. I've been using knives for so long, it just feels like a normal, natural thing. So unless you were in person, I would be able to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But you see how easy that can be. And I will say, I've cut my finger so many times just doing what I just did. So don't try that at home. This is the other way I was telling you about. So take off this part here so you can get to underneath the belly. And now we do the same thing here. Separate and then skin. Now the other way you can do it is you start from this side, but you lose a little bit of meat when you do it this way. Oh, I do. On the tail end. Looks like I missed a little piece of skin. So now I gotta go back under here. Bam. really nice oil content in the striped bass. Back to the 2020 knife. Now the easy way without taking the bones out is like this. You're gonna split it down the middle. There's no bones through the center tail part on most fish. Molly, can I get a bowl, please? Like a stainless one, like a little one. There should be some up there in the cabinet. No, oh, that'll work, yeah. That'll work. What's up, guys? How you doing? I don't know who's in there, but got somebody. All right. Just cutting up a striped bass right now for sushi. It's got to be frozen, salted, and all that good stuff still. So we're just trimming it down and getting it prepared. Fit now. I should have said what's up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure who's in there, so. Takes a little bit of focus when you're using the knives. You just don't want to accidentally cut yourself, even though it happens. Try to let it not happen very often. Trade out the cutting boards. I like to use paper towels because you can just toss them when you're done. It's a lot cleaner, much safer. Molly, you want to hold the camera while I'm doing this part? I'm going to put the salt on. Now this is actually a cool little salt cup I use, a fencing cup, but this is Malden salt. Molly's gonna pick it up really quick while I put the salt on, so you can kind of see what we got going on here. You don't really need to put it on both sides just because you only need a little bit. You can kind of see our setup. I'll see all my knives over here. And then after this, I'm just gonna put some parchment paper on top. And we'll put it in the freezer after wrapping it. And then later on, we'll finish it off. Okay, next we got another stray bass. I feel like it's better for me to do it down here, but then you can't really see what I'm doing. Now we already removed the nasty stuff, so he's not too bad off. I just like to dry the fish down a little bit with paper towels. I do leave the scales on. Most people don't do that, but I leave them on because I can cut underneath the scales and through them if I need to. This is the Deba. Masimoto Deba. See the back right here? I don't know if you can see that, but that, with that little red mark on the bottom is how you can tell. Here, I wish it was a little bit lower. Go get one of those. I'll wait for just a second. I'm gonna get something to prop the camera on. There we go. So I think it's probably best right about there. What do you think, guys? Is that about right? Or is it better up here? Hey, can you set up comments so I can actually see it? Can't really tell. Oh, there's no people there, but it doesn't matter. We still need to set up the comments.
How do you do that?
We'll flip it back the other way. Let's see, read what it says. Flip it back the other way again. This way.
Oh, it's upside down?
Yeah, there, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Now, read the comments. See what it says?
What comments?
Oh, it's just one thumbs up. I thought there was a comment. Live chat. All right.
Can you see better?
That's much better, yeah. So I'm taking the knife, I'm putting it right under the dorsal fin, I think is what it's called. And just slicing it down. Like that. And then back up. Same thing on this side. This side's a little easier. And then I have a Deba, so I pound it down. Haha. Off with his head. That's my favorite part. Obviously, you could probably get the cheekbones, but we don't have a whole lot of time to deal with it. That's pretty good stuff right there. See his tongue? Show you how fresh he is, right? Pretty tasty. Now, any new people that come in the room, I'm gonna show them that too. This is kind of cool. Next thing is the tail. We're gonna start with my favorite knife. And I'll show you this side. And this time, I'm going to cut both sides instead of just the one. And to get to that bone that I was telling you about, I'll do it like this. As long as your knife's pressed against the bone, you're never going to lose. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been getting all my paperwork done for taxes, and it was just so much work getting all the taxes done. But man, it's rewarding when you're 99% done. I think we should be filed by the 2nd or 3rd. I don't remember which day we're gonna be filed by, but we're almost there. We got everything in one place and organized. The part of business nobody ever thinks about when they want to open a business is taxes. The money inside of the money you have to pay out isn't that bad. It's more about the sitting down and doing all the paperwork and all that jazz and whatever. So here there's several ways we can do it. I'll show you guys one more time with the knife or with the scissors. So when you're doing the scissors, so you don't lose any meat, you want to make sure that you're cutting up high into that bone, and then you don't miss any meat. They're sharp scissors, obviously, so you can't just use any scissors. You need knife cutting or fish scissors. Now we have our piece of meat. And we're gonna put that over here in the sheet pan. I'll finish the other half. Now I have 3 fish, but I'm gonna save one for Molly, who's learning how to cut fish with me. I know she'd be upset if I didn't let her cut at least one fish, because it's fun. I like breaking the fish down, so does she. It's just a good time. That's why I like showing it off. Now I'm doing my knife backwards, like this, because of the scales. It makes it way easier to get into the scaly areas underneath it. In my opinion, it does. And then when you get back to the front, you cut like forward like this. Golden rule, stick to the bones. But you also don't want to cut too low because you'll cut right through them. With some of these whitefish, their bones are real thin and weird. So I've been playing the Oculus lately, and that thing is awesome. But I hear they're coming out with better technology. They're coming out with augmented reality, which is insane to think about. I know when I was a kid, that would have been just straight sci-fi. So I'm gonna try to get it to where you guys can see. But if you lift the tail up, Of course, you want to make sure you cut all the way through, right there, to the place where the ribs meet the spine. And cut it just right, and take those off. Haha. I think he likes me. But no. He's like, what about me? Next step, wipe down the cutting board a little bit. My favorite knife. Now the one side of the fish will be going backwards with the knife. The other side will be going forward. Now that's just to turn the cutting board so you don't have to move the fish around as much. Well, if you guys end up watching this later, any of my followers, my subscribers, please, if you have any like advice or anything, I'm always down. Especially if you're, into YouTube thing and you do it yourself. Now I'm just taking off the belly. The rest of it, the skin part. I think I started my YouTube account in December. Now I'll show you the thing again. What you do is you're separating the fatty part as close to the fins with this. The reason you want to do that is it helps keep your knife flat while you're taking the skin off. The skin, if you don't keep it flat, it'll mess you all up. So I'm going to break it here because I want you guys to see. You just cut away from yourself. You want to keep your knife as flat as possible without cutting through the skin. Then move the skin back and forth. Oops.